How's it, guys and girls? Gary here, and I'm having a mid-bike crisis, and today I thought I'd carry on with a lesson that we did a few weeks ago on how to ride a bike for the first time, and this will be how to ride a bike for the second time and beyond. And we're going to talk about a few things like dragging your brakes, back brakes that is. We're going to learn how to use the front brake and how to feather the clutch. In other words, keeping it in that friction zone where you can feel it engaging with the engine, and applications of that. So let's go down to the abandoned parking lot and get on with the show. Okay, let's go through a few of the controls that we didn't look at last week. There is a flashlight here. That is good for pretending you're a cop and getting people to move out of the way when lane splitting. You just do that. And it looks like a cop light. So it's cool. And it's also to warn people when overtaking and stuff like that. And these are spotlights over here. Little spots on the side, and the hooter. And what have we got on this side? We got the heated grips, because I'm a wussy and I don't like to ride around with cold hands. Right, first of all you want to learn how to use the front brake. Front brake is very sharp, but it also provides most of your stopping power. Probably about 90% of your stopping power will be on the front brake. The back brake also helps, but has a lot less stopping power. So you want to be very careful when learning how to use the front brake. Very gentle. It's extremely sharp. You don't want to have the wheel turned like this and then use the front brake, because you will see your butt. So if you're turning, sometimes it's unavoidable if you've got your feet out and you're using the front brake. Be extremely careful, because if I have my wheel like this and I pull the front brake, the bike's going to go that way. I'm going to fall on my ass. You also want to keep your balls on the pegs, the balls of your feet that is, on the foot pegs, as I'm showing you here. Getting the revs up slightly and just letting the clutch out like so. And now keeping it in that friction zone, just keeping the revs gentle and then slowly taking it around. And I'm feathering the clutch, just keeping it in that friction zone, as you can see, and slowly going around. What you also want to do is drag the back brake slightly, very, very gently. Just drag the back brake as you're doing that, as you're feathering the clutch, and that helps you to stay upright. So I can go extremely slowly, and I've got the back brake pushed down, slightly, not too much, and it helps me to balance. So when in bumper to bumper traffic, try that using the back brake, just dragging it slightly, even if you're accelerating a little bit, and it will help you to maintain balance without having to put your feet up. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Now I've got the brake off, but I'm still feathering the clutch, and now dragging the back brake, feathering the clutch around as I go around the circle, looking where I want to go. So you want to practice that. Just dragging the back brake slightly. It will help you to maintain balance, and you won't have to put your feet out. And feathering the clutch. There's certain circumstances where you need to do that. For instance, when turning a corner through a bumpy road, or where there's gravel or sand on the road. Obviously in bumper to bumper traffic you can use it there as well. You want to also practice your emergency stops. So in other words, going about 25 kilometers an hour or so, and then using both brakes to do the stop, a quick stop like that. So you want to practice these things every day. Really get them under your belt. I just wait for these guys to move. You want to practice your swerves. So in other words, you're going to counter steer. In other words, steer slightly in the opposite direction in order to swerve. As soon as these guys have moved over, I'll show you what I mean. In fact, I'm going to come around here and do it from this angle, and a swerve. So counter steering like that, and the other way, keeping your body more or less upright and letting the bike swerve underneath you, so you're not leaning with the bike. And yeah, practice those things, drag in the back brake when in slow traffic, but just practice it in a parking lot. That's quiet. Feather in the clutch. Practice your emergency stops using both brakes, coming to a stop without skidding, and be careful not to do it on a white line, because that could cause you to actually skid out, because the white lines are a bit slippery even in the dry. Take it easy, ride safely, and I'll chat to you again. Cheers.